improve their speaking abilities 300%? Anyone? Then I'm in the right room. Before we get into that, I've got a quick question for you. Who has ever had themselves videoed speaking? Everybody in Extreme has. Second question, related but not directly related. Who has actually watched themselves on video speaking? Not as many people. That's normal. If you want to improve yourself, if you want to become a better speaker, if you want to really develop and build your speaking skills, you have to see what you do up there. There's a way you can use the video to improve yourself, not just 100%, not just 200%, but 300% with the very same video. It's a technique that I learned gradually watching other speakers, some in Toastmasters, won a world champion, and I learned a technique and a way to look at videos and speaking that has transformed my speaking so that I never will look at speeches the same way. It began when I came to this club, Extreme Toastmasters. And I was introduced to Rocky Romero. You know Rocky? He's the founder of the club, great guy. And Rocky had a camera. He took the camera, he set it down, and he announced to the club, said, we're going to start videoing speeches. Now this was before all the internet stuff took off, so I didn't know quite what this was all about. I said, okay, fine, video speeches. And then he emailed me a link. And for the first time ever, I got to see myself speaking. And when I clicked it, suffice it to say that if you ever watch yourself the first time that you're on there, you will see some things you swear you'll never do again. In my case, it was saying, every 30 seconds or so. And I just, and I heard it, and it just changed everything. And if you will actually watch yourself videos, watch those videos that we're putting online, study them, go through them, you're going to become 100% better speaker than what you are now. Just getting up there and trying to remember things, because we're kind to ourselves. We want to be gentle, we want to be nice. So when we remember things, we kind of edit out the parts we didn't like. Oh, I didn't stumble that bad. It didn't look bad. It was okay. I'm sure it didn't come across that way. When you see it, it's like, oh, all right, that's definitely something to work on. That's 100%. For the next 100%, I have to go to a member of this club named Julia. And Julia every day would come up and she'd take her cell phone, put it down, and then she'd start speaking. She'd pick up her cell phone again. And one day I asked Julia, what are you doing? Why do you keep putting your cell phone down and picking it back up? And she said, I'm recording my speech. And I said, but we got a video there. You can see it on video. I said, Tim, it's different. Trust me. So I thought she was crazy, of course. I started doing it now, just recording just the sound and listening to the sound. It is different. Trust me. It is completely different. If you haven't done it, if you haven't just listened to yourself, you don't know the experience. So even if you take your video, you play back your video, but don't watch it. Just listen to it. And you may find yourself, you speak a little faster than you can actually understand. And you don't realize that because when you see it, it's easy to make that connection. But when you hear it, you're like, what the heck was I saying there? You get a chance, if you can transcribe what you did, and you get a chance to really get a sense of the words you actually use and don't use, which can be kind of mind-opening too. So that's a way to go 200%. Just listen to yourself. And when I listen to myself, I discovered that sometimes I spoke way too fast, I couldn't understand a single word I was saying. So I'm now working on that. And you'll find something else too. And to go the final 300%. Didn't learn this actually in Toastmasters, but I learned it from a world champion speaker. David Brooks was talking about how he improved his public speaking. Do you know David Brooks? Well, that's all right. He's a really, really great speaker. Trust me. Go online, check David Brooks out. World champion speaker. And he said one day he was watching his video without the sound, and he discovered that he was going back and forth on stage like a cat prowling in front of a cage, just back and forth and back and forth. So I got to stop that. And I thought, oh, David Brooks can actually get something with this technique. What can I see? So I watched it without sound. And I discovered that when I wasn't aware of it, I was kind of doing the funky chicken back and forth like this. And that's where my whole obsession about hands came from, because I thought, I'm not going to do that anymore. But I wouldn't have really realized that unless I turned off the sound. So for that final 300%, turn off the sound, just watch it. One of the most powerful things you have today as a speaker is the video. And if you use it well, you can go from where you are to wherever you want to be. First thing is do is watch the thing. It can take a while. It can be difficult. And here's a bonus tip for you. First, listen to it. Then watch it without sound. And then finally work your way up to actually watching it all together. That can help too if you're afraid to watch the thing. Listen to the sound. See what you're doing, what you're actually doing up there. And then finally just watch it without the sound. And you put all that together, that's a 300% improvement. So try it, and you too will have your whole sense of speaking transformed as you have never, ever seen it before. Matt.